This is the R2 leg with some modifications done to it to beef it up. I like to back block along the way. I also have this bar with a step in it so I can permanently locate it into a fixed position. This will run the power cable down through to the ankle and through into the foot for the drive motor. Using a standard pipe cutter and the pipe, I have marked where I want to cut it clear. You simply wind it on as so, tightening as you turn the bar. Give it a couple of revolutions, tighten as you go. So that cuts it off to that length. And you also have to be mindful that it has to be clear of where one of the bolt holes will come through here to mount the leg to the shoulders. Following on from previous builds with the R2, I decide that I have to reinforce right up along the tube for flexing, twisting and turning. This has increased the strength considerably. When the next skin is on, then the horseshoe is attached and it's attached to the shoulder at the back. It will be one solid piece and very little risk of cracking and failure at a future stage. This is the standard design leg with all the parts that you've pre-cut. Now time to fit them. We simply peel off all the paper that is stuck down with low tack glue, and these parts are where you're going to fit your cross sections. If you have a tendency to use too much glue, just use a steel ruler to push the paperwork off. Now, the tracks that we made before, the underlined scores, these have two purposes. They have aligning the part in those grooves, and also when you pour glue, they should stay between the two lines. Gives it a bit of a well to put the block part onto it, and then what you do is you put a square against it to keep the part at 90 degrees. All the parts you've cut out, when you use a blade and you snap and clean, the edges are a bit rough. Just round them off gently, and the solvent will do the rest when you put the parts together. The way I like to assemble the parts: put all the formers onto your tube, put it in place, and start aligning them. Glue one in when it's joined, glue the end one, then do the ones in between. Nice tight to the box section, so when you get the other former on the other side, it fits in nice and even with it. Later stage, we then trim the edges if it's needed be. When the leg is built, we then reskin it, which gives it the form detail. It's not actually routed out, it's actually an extra skin which covers up the joints as well. If you now glue the second former into place, in a position like that, let it set, won't take too long. You then slide these other formers to their positions, and when you glue them all in and they're all locked in position, the tube will then be able to be inserted, removed, and then you can box up the sections at a later stage to reinforce it if you wish, or you can stay with the standard plans and see how you go. remembering once it's covered up and any cracking internally, you won't be able to fix it. Now, the reason I've shown you what I have made first with the modifications is to give you an idea of what you're working towards and how you make progress step by step. So basically glue in the rest of these formers. You then put on all these other formers up the top of the leg. Put in the standard parts. You will know when you have it assembled, you will be able to feel some slight flexing. That's the issue I've had before, which I've seen other droids where they've cracked and people start re-gluing. The other thing to be wary of, where you drill holes, you will get slight fracture marks spiraling away from it. What I have done in this situation is I put the solvent on the holes, and what it does is I call it normalizing. The plastic resets and the cracks are just one solid part once again. I also do the same when I drill holes out to their final size. I do like to put a bolt in, some solvent on it, turn it around to get the hole sealed so there's no micro fractures in the plastic that would cause you a problem at a later stage.